What is up, everybody? Welcome into the JM Sports Show, the first one for 2019, the first one in a while. This week, we will be discussing the conference championship weekend that is upcoming. So I hope that everybody had a good holiday and enjoyed these past weekend's divisional games. I sure did. I thought they were a lot of fun. Let me just share us up on Twitter here. And as soon as I do that, we will be ready to go. A lot of fun games this past weekend. We saw the Chiefs finally win a home playoff game for the first time since 1994. And we had a lot happen with the Rams and Cowboys. And that was a fun game to watch. Patriots beat up on the Chargers, 41-28. It was much more of a rout than that. Chargers got some points in garbage time down the stretch, and we had the Saints come back to beat the Eagles, 20-14. Eagles looked like they had a shot at the end, driving, but ball tipped up. Alshon Jeffrey's hands is picked up by Marcus Lattimore, and the Saints were able to hold on to win that 20-14. So it is the top two seeds in the AFC facing off, and the top two seeds in the NFC facing off. We have the Patriots heading to Kansas City, and the Rams heading to New Orleans, and so it should be a fun weekend of football, one of the best conference championship weekends I can remember in recent history. Both games are rematches of regular season games in week 6. It was the Patriots beating the Chiefs 43-40 in Foxborough on the last second Gostowski field goal. And that was a game that had 30 fourth quarter points. It was kind of part of that first half of the season where you saw a lot of points, and when everyone was saying where's the defense is at, second half of the season defenses certainly stepped up and we saw less scoring. But that first half of the season we had so many of those fireworks show type games. And then the Saints beat the Rams 45-35 in the Superdome in week 9. They were up 35-14, I remember, in the second half, but the Rams were able to tie up with the Saints in the end, pulled away once more, this time for good. So some very intriguing matchups, position battles, and that's what we'll go over, position battles and my predictions for both conference championship games here on this Monday, 14th of January, 2019. As we look to the conference championship. Starting in the AFC, that game will be on CBS this Sunday afternoon. I believe it's the early game. I could be wrong. The early game being 3:30 Eastern. But that one, you have Tom Brady, the GOAT, versus the presumptive MVP in Pat Mahomes, and you have that one's the late game actually. That's 6:40 Eastern. So you have one at 3:30. That'll be Saints and the Rams, and you have the 6 o'clock, 6:40 Eastern. You have the Chiefs and the Patriots in the AFC championship game. Brady was great on Sunday. I think it was the best I've seen him all year. He was 34-44 with 343 yards. Just needed one touchdown. The rest was handled by the rushing game, which we'll get in later in a couple minutes here. 0 interceptions. And honestly, I think it comes down to the leadership and experience Brady has, even though Mahomes was a 50 touchdown passer this year, becoming just third quarterback in history to throw for 50 touchdown passes. joining Brady and Peyton Manning for that feat. Mahomes certainly has the better weapons receiving. I get into that a bit, with Tyreek Hill and with Travis Kelce and with um, and with the backs, Damian Williams and Chris Conley's a pretty good receiver as well, and you have Sammy Watkins. The Patriots is really Julian Edelman. Gronk isn't the same as it used to be. A lot of people are considering this could be his final year in the league, and so looking to that, I think Mahomes is the better receivers, but I think experience-wise, that's what's so valuable in these kind of games. I think it's gonna be another cold one in Kansas City this week. Obviously, this past weekend you had a snowstorm and it was very cold, but the Chiefs were able to unleash a fairly good aerial attack as Mahomes is 27 of 41. I mean, 41 pass attempts in that kind of weather was pretty impressive. 278 yards. Didn't have a touchdown again. It was all the running game for Kansas City this past week with the touchdowns. I think it's a fairly even matchup, so I am going to say that it's pretty much a toss-up over who is the better quarterback coming into this matchup. I might lean a bit towards Brady due to the experience, but of course, on the road, he has struggled in the playoffs with 8 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. And this year, the Patriots were 3-5 away from Foxborough. They went 11-0 at Foxborough, but just 3-5 away from Foxborough. Then we're 8-0, I guess, at Foxborough, 9-0, including his playoff win this past week. Running backs Damian Williams and Sony Michel. Damian Williams at Kansas City, Sony Michel, the lead man in New England, at least last week. 2 surprising studs, I would say, heading into the season. The Patriots, they're kind of one of those teams that each week they have a different running back, so whether it's James White, whether it's Rex Burkhead, they kind of choose a different back each week. It seems to be that feature man. This past week it was Sony Michel. Michel had 24 carries for $129 and 3 scores. Damian Williams also had 129 yards on 29 carries, and he scored once. And Damian Williams coming in, they weren't even expecting that guy to make the roster. The former Dolphin, he had to beat out Derek West and Spencer Ware to make that roster, and those 2 guys have been pretty good. He was backing up Kareem Hunt. Of course, the big video comes out of Kareem Hunt at that hotel in Cleveland, and he's let go. So now the Chiefs have to, focus on Damian Williams, and he has stepped up. He really stepped up and really gashed that Colts defense this past Saturday. You also have Tyreek Hill, who's an effective runner. He had a touchdown run. They get some runs from Chris Conley from time to time on those jet sweeps. And Pat Mahomes too had a touchdown run, as did Darrell Williams, the outstanding back for KC, as Derek West was hurt as well. Earlier in the season, Derek got hurt, and so you had Darrell Williams coming in as the number 2, the Rook. Then with New England, as I mentioned, it was Sony Michel, the big man. James White had 15 catches, setting a playoff record. Rex Burkhead, you can also see him as well, and he had a touchdown run. So they got all 3 guys involved in New England, and then you have Devlin down in the as the fullback, as that kind of short yardage guy down near the goal line sometimes. So it's really the new NFL. You have multiple running backs, different situations call for different running backs. You see Sony Michel, you kind of expect the run. When you see James White, you kind of expect the pass. That's one thing the Patriots, a little bit non-Patriot way, but they do have some of those tendencies when they bring in those backs. But I think the Chiefs, as they've struggled to stop the run, I think New England has a slight advantage. So I'll give New England the advantage there. Receiving, I kind of already went into it. That's a clear Kansas City advantage with Hill, Kelsey, Watkins. Patriots deal James White out of the backfield, again with those 15 catches. Julian Edelman had 9 catches, about 51. But Gronk, he's not as effective as he used to be. There's really not much else. I know Chris Hogan, you could say him, but with Josh Gordon gone, he was their only deep threat. Kansas City definitely has the advantage in terms of deep threat. Both these secondaries kind of struggle too. I'll get into that here in just a moment. Offensive line, the Pats obviously had to come in and rework the offensive line, but it has worked. They've had some injuries this year. They had some departures this past offseason. Brady was not sacked this past week. Hit this twice. Chargers have a good defense too. You think Joey Bosa, Melvin Ingram, some of those good linebackers were not able to get to Tom Brady this past week. They gave him time. And history shows, you have to get to Brady if you want to beat him. If you do get to him, you can get him flustered. You can get him to make some of those mistakes that we've seen in those Super Bowl losses and those playoff losses to teams like Denver, to with Von Miller, to New York with Strahan and others. Looking back in the past, that's how you get to him. But they were unable to. Chargers were unable to get to him, and that was a big part of the reason they lost and lost so badly. And Brady had the performance he did. Kansas City was also bottom 5 in giving up sacks. I think a big reason for that is Mahomes has that ability to move outside the pocket when things get bad. But I do think Kansas City does have a pretty good O-line as well. But I will give New England the advantage there. Defensive line, you have Chris Jones, who recorded a sack in, I believe, 10 straight games. But against the run, the Chiefs' defense ranked 27th this year. The Patriots ranked 11th against the run. And they only gave up 7 touchdowns all year to rank 2nd in the NFL to the Bears. And they have a strong red zone D, and so I give that advantage to New England on the defensive front. But it's only a slight one, yeah. Linebacking core, Kansas City was first in sacks. Big part of that was Chris Jones off the defensive line, but they do have some good linebackers in Justin Houston. He's certainly a star in this league, and the Patriots rank 13th, so they're kind of a middling team when it comes to getting to the quarterback. Again, I think a big key for Kansas City is getting to the quarterback. If you can get Chris Jones and Justin Houston to the quarterback, they will be able, I think, to disrupt them and get them and make some mistakes, which could be key in what I think will be a close game. So I'll give, in terms of linebacking core, I do give the Chiefs an advantage there. Secondary, the Chiefs gave up the second most yards in the NFL as a secondary. I believe they'll again be without the veteran leadership in Eric Berry, who had that Achilles or ankle injury, whatever it was, that kept him out against the Colts. They certainly shut down Luck. They certainly got to Luck. I think a big part of that was the pass rush, but certainly the secondary played a role as well, as Luck was held to just 203 yards passing, and nobody had more than 60 yards receiving. I kind of compared the receiving core of an Indy to a receiving core of New England. As you just have a couple of weapons. So Indy, it's just really T.Y. Hilton, and then this year Eric Ebron. And then for the Patriots, you kind of think Gronk a bit, and then Julian Edelman and James White out of the backfield. In the Pats, they were 22nd in pass defense, so they were not much better than the Chiefs. But they were able to keep Rivers and the dangerous Chargers team in check. They give up a big play to Keenan Allen early, but other than that, we're able to shut down Rivers, and that passing offense, that kind of garbage time at the end when they were able to get a couple of scores in and then get some yards, is really Rivers is kind of starting to chuck it at the end of that game. Both the Colts and Pats will have quarterback play over the big play threats. So I think, the Chiefs, can replicate the success they had against Luck. Linebacking core again. And again, this is going to be a key on defense. Is getting to Brady, and that could get the shot to make him some mistakes and get this secondary to make some plays. Special teams on the returns. Punt returning is Tyreek Hill. Kick return is Tremont Smith for the Chiefs, and those are two speedy guys. Obviously, Tyreek Hill is the fastest man in the NFL. The Pats returning game, Julian Edelman's not much of a punt returner and doesn't have much speed. They do have Cordell Patterson, who's been a historically good kick returner. I think still has a lot of that flash that got him the nickname C Flash P. Kickers are both great, but I like the veteran and very experienced Gostowski in the playoffs over Harrison Butker. And the punting game is fairly even. So I put it even for on the special teams. Coaching, I'll give Belichick the advantage. Obviously, he's 6-2. He has Reid all the time. Andy Reid is 1-5 in the conference championship. This is his first conference trip, obviously, with the Chiefs. And his lone win came back in 2004. That Super Bowl, of course, with the Eagles, he was playing up against, he was coaching up against Belichick, who got the win there. 6-2 is Belichick against the Chiefs all time. And then, so for the first time since week 2 of 2015, the New England Patriots enter as dogs. They face the 3-point underdog heading into this, according to most of the sports books in Vegas. Over under is 57.5. So if I were to bet, I would take the Patriots. I'm going to take the Patriots to win outright. Total to go under. Let's give the Patriots 27-24 over the Chiefs on Sunday night. To the NFC Championship, the early game of the week at 3:30 Eastern on Fox. We'll have CBS has Tony Romo and Jim Nantz, and Fox has obviously Troy Aikman and Joe Buck on the call. Drew Brees versus Jared Goff, the veteran versus the young gun. You kind of see it in the coaching matchup. You see it in the quarterback matchup as well. Brees continues to set records, all-time passing yards record. He's third all-time in touchdowns. He's continuing to climb up these leaderboards. He's one of the best in the league of all time. Goff has continued to build after that disastrous rookie season, and he's borderline elite with the coaching of Sean McVay and the weapons they've been able to provide him with. Both look up to put up numbers, but I'll take Brees with the experience. I think Brees is the better quarterback headed to this matchup. So advantage New Orleans. Rushing, C.J. Henderson has been was a big emergence last week. As he complimented Todd Gurley, who is oftentimes the only guy in LA's backfield this past year. Signed off the street basically a month ago after he was let go by the Raiders. He was with the Panthers to begin the season with CJ. So now he shows his gratitude for the Rams. 23 carries, $123, and 2 scores. Gurley added $115 and a score, and Rams were able to, I think, beat the Cowboys based on that rushing game. If you get 2 backs over 100 yards, it's going to go a long way to controlling possession and to really opening up things down the field for your quarterback and receivers. And also just the big play threats we see from both of them, especially Todd Gurley. Then the Saints have they had that 2-headed monster in Kamara and Mark Ingram. And both of them were pretty good on Sunday. Again, because they went down early 14-0, I think you saw a little less of a running game than you might see this week if it's close. But the Rams did rank 3rd in rushing offense. Saints rank 6th. I will give the advantage slightly to the LA Rams. But both of those, they both have really good star running backs in the backfield. Receiving, both teams can get yards and points to the air. The Rams obviously have a lot of weapons. Robert Woods and Brandon Cooks lead the way. You get help from your tight end Tyler Higbee and Josh Reynolds coming out of the slot. Meanwhile, the Saints got a monster game from Michael Thomas. he's a top tier wideout now in this league. I put him up there with the DeAndre Hopkins, with the Antonio Brown's, Julio Joneses of this league as one of those top backs in this organization. And then you have on the but really outside of Thomas, I don't see much. Ted Ginn is kind of lost a step or two in the last couple seasons, so I will give LA the advantage. Although look how Michael Thomas, another monster, came, and that could change. Offensive line, both teams did a great job protecting their quarterback during the season, but the last team does suggest the Rams have a slightly better unit as they kept Goff from being sacked. Brees was sacked twice. And they faced pressure most of the night from Philly. So I will give LA the advantage on the offensive line. Defensive line, I'll give advantage to the Rams. Even though the Saints were second best at stopping the run in 2018, Rams ranked 23rd. But looking early in that game, one reason the Eagles were able to jump out to that early lead was the running game from Wendell, Smallwood, and Sproles. And certainly Todd Gurley and C.J. Anderson are a better backfield duo than that. So Zeke, he got close to nothing really against the Rams. So I'll give the Rams the advantage there based on the recent history. Linebackers, Saints were fifth best at getting after the quarterback. Rams ranked 15th, advantage New Orleans. Secondary, both squads have playmakers in their defensive backfields. However, the Saints were 29th in yards allowed and were 18th in interceptions. The Rams were third in interceptions and 14th in yards allowed. I think both teams have the potential to make the big plays in the secondary, but I'll give LA the slight advantage there. Coaching, I think I like the veteran leadership of Sean Payton, even though Sean McVay's the wonderkind. I do think that experience in championship games in the playoffs that will do wonders for Sean Payton. But I think it'll be a great game, a lot of risk taking. You saw the Saints go for it on fourth down on a fake punt with Taysom Hill early in on their own end, early in yesterday's game. That was really a turning point. But yeah, I do give New Orleans the advantage there, slight advantage. And the prediction, Saints come in as 3.5-point favorites, over under 67. I think the Saints to cover, total to go over. New Orleans 35, Rams 31. So my prediction for the Super Bowl, New Orleans versus New England, Breeze versus Brady. I'll have to see how that works out. And any of the matchups would be great. How about if both of mine are on, Kansas City and LA? That was a great matchup on Monday Night Football. But we'll have to see how it turns out. That's just my thoughts looking at the positional battles and at the coaching battles and at the odds coming in. So thanks everyone for coming in. Subscribe to me here on the YouTube channel. Also follow me on Twitter at jmoney18c, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.